Hello everyone, my name is Masha and today I'm going to teach you how to make triangle ends for your alpha bracelets. So I have just taped my strings down onto my table with a piece of tape and some washi tape over it. I have left some string out of frame that's also taped down so that I can make ties out of it later. But this is the string that we're going to be working with now. I will leave the pattern that I'm working on in the description if you guys want to check it out. We won't really be using the pattern here, but you guys always ask, so I thought I might as well. And I have 16 strings, 16 bass strings, and also one leading string. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I have a beginner's guide video and also a video on how to make alpha bracelets, so you can check those out for like the terminology and stuff. But since I have 16 strings, I'm just going to be separating 8 on one side and 8 on the other side. Now if you had an odd number of strings, you would separate it similarly. Now say I have 17 strings, I would put 8 on one side, 8 on the other side, but I would leave 1 in the center. Since I have an even amount of strings, I won't be leaving anything in the center now. So I've separated, I've got 8 strings here and 8 strings here. And again, as I said, if you have an odd number of strings, you would have 1 in the center as well, but I don't. So I'm going to start by making a forward knot with my leading string onto this first strand. And then another forward knot just onto the entirety of the second strand. So essentially what I've done now would be the tip of my triangle. Now to actually begin widening the rows, I'm going to start by taking one string out of the strand on the left and one string out of the strand on the right. And I'm now going to do a backward knot onto this strand, excluding the string that we just took out. Then a knot just onto the string that we took out of the right strand. Then one knot on the string that we took out of the left strand. And finally a knot onto the entire left strand. There you go, so we've done a knot on each of the strands and a knot on one of each of these strings in the middle. Now, if you have an odd number of strings, you would have done this in the first row. As I said, if you have an odd number of strings, one of the strings will be in the middle at the beginning, where we just did 2 knots, 1 on each strand. You would already do a knot on the middle strand as well. But since I have an even number of strings, my first row was just a knot on each of the strands. But other than that, the technique is the same for an even and an odd number of strings. Every row you bring out one string from the left strand and one string from the right strand. You do a knot on the strand on each of the strings individually that are in the middle, and then on the strand on the other side as well. So let's do that again. So one knot on this strand, then an individual knot on each of these strings that are in the middle. And then on the strand on the other side, on the right. And there you go, that's just the basic technique. You can already start seeing the rows sort of widening. Every single row you do, you bring out one string from each strand, thus widening the row every row. So I'm now just going to finish doing that. And there we go, the triangle start is completely finished. Now the way that you would do the triangle ends is pretty much exactly the same, but obviously in reverse. You would start by doing a knot on both of these, the first 2, then an individual knot on all the middle ones, and then a knot on these 2 together as well. And then each row you're going into the triangle, you would add a string that's closest to the strand into the strand. So you would then go into 3 here, you would add this one as well, go into 3 on the other side, still doing individual knots on the middle ones, and then for the next row you would add 1 here and another one here, going into 4, then in each individual knot and another 4, and so on until you run out of strings. I won't be showing you this now since I just started my bracelet and I don't have enough time to actually make the bracelet to show you the end, but the technique is exactly the same. So there you go, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. As you can see, I have used this technique before on other bracelets and I love the way that it turns out. The other side as well turns out super smooth, there's no bumps or anything, it just looks like normal rose. That's what I really like about this technique. I'll also leave this pattern linked in the description because I know you guys will ask. I really like this one as well. So thank you guys for watching. This was just a quick tutorial on how to make an alternative version of triangle ends for alpha bracelets. If you do end up making something based on the tutorial, then feel free to tag me in your post on Instagram. I would love to see your guys' creations. But yeah, that's it for today. I post videos on Wednesdays and Sundays, and sometimes I post bonus videos as well. And I will see you next time. Bye!